5 reasons why new tenants get better deals than existing tenants on lease renewals. If you are a tenant who has already experienced a lease renewal transaction, you may be asking yourself, why is it that landlords always seem to give new tenants better deals than existing tenants? Don't they appreciate my loyalty? Don't they want to keep me as a tenant? Shouldn't I be rewarded for the partnership I've built over the years with this landlord? Well, the answers to these questions are not that black and white. Hey, I'm Nick Zager from Mirlo Real Estate Partners, and in this video, I'm going to cover 5 reasons why new tenants will often get better deals than existing tenants, and how you can avoid these mistakes. If you are new to this channel, please be sure to like, share, and hit that subscribe button to get notifications on all our videos. Five, tenants want convenience. Many of us can relate to an experience where we signed up for a membership, perhaps at a gym, or subscribed to a service. However, we no longer use that membership as much, but canceling it and finding a better option was not at the top of our mind, or just seemed like a hassle. And it was just more convenient to stay put. So instead, we continue on paying without giving it any more thought and just going with whatever is convenient. Well, landlords try to use some of these conveniency tactics too when it comes to renewing your lease. Landlords know that the odds are in their favor. Most tenants simply just renew the lease. Because of this, landlords will draft a simple one-page amendment and send it over to a tenant to just sign. Or, if your lease has a renewal option clause in it, the landlord may send over an amendment already drafted with the renewal option terms included, making it incredibly convenient to exercise your option when the time comes. The tenant might think in either of these cases, well, it would be pretty convenient to sign this and go about my business. However, unlike our example with the gym membership, while it may be somewhat pricey to be a gym member, it most certainly does not cost you tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Real estate is often a company's second or third highest expense. Therefore, each real estate transaction, including simple lease renewals, warrants a full analysis. Companies often will shop around and compare prices for smaller budget items, such as office supplies, so why wouldn't the second highest budget expense deserve the same amount of scrutiny? When it comes to real estate, please don't just do whatever is the most convenient. Be sure to fully vet your options prior to signing anything. Number 4, tenants have poor timing. As we have covered in previous videos, timing is always a huge factor to determine how much leverage you have in the negotiation process. It is important to track when your lease expires so that you can approach or respond to the landlord about your lease renewal at the correct time. If you begin the process too early, you can risk not being taken very seriously. The landlord will not have any urgency to make a deal with you at that time. However, the worst case scenario is starting too late. This will limit your options of going anywhere else. And if the landlord knows that you can't go anywhere else, then they will not offer you the best terms. So when is the best time to renew? Well, it does depend on your situation, especially if you have a lease renewal option in your lease. Renewal options will often have a timeline already set, so you want to be sure not to miss that window. However, if you don't have a renewal option with a specific timeline to follow, it is often best to start the process about a year out from your lease expiration. So be sure to plan accordingly. Number 3, tenants don't use their advantage. The biggest advantage you have as a tenant going into a lease renewal is that renewing your lease is ultimately the most convenient option for a landlord too. Of course, they will want you to renew their lease for the highest amount of rent possible. Think about this for a second. Finding a new tenant to occupy a space takes a lot of time and money for a landlord. It can easily take 6, 9, or even 12 months to fill a vacancy. This would not only be a substantial amount of rent being lost over the time that a space sits vacant, but a landlord will also have to pay more money in broker fees, and more in construction costs, and offer up more concessions to make the space work for a new tenant. Also, statistically speaking, the chances of you renewing your lease is very high. which also helps the landlord. It makes it a lot easier to budget and report projections to powers that be if you renew your lease according to their plan. In conclusion, you have an advantage. The landlord makes the most amount of money by keeping you as a tenant, even at a lower rental rate. Don't forget this. Number 2, tenants don't know the market. You as a tenant have a business to run. You are an expert in your business and in your field. This means the chances are that you are not an expert in commercial real estate too. However, the landlord is an expert. They know the commercial real estate market very, very well. They know what spaces are out there that compete with their space and how long they have been on the market and vacant. They also know what the rental rates are and the deals the other landlords will make. If you as a tenant do not also have this knowledge, then this leaves you at a distinct disadvantage. The landlord has competing interests as you. They want to lease the space for the most amount of money, and you want to lease the space for the least amount of money. Even the nicest landlord still has this goal. So why would you trust their opinion whether or not they are giving you a fair deal or not? So how do you become an expert in the market? After all, you are still busy running your company and doing your own job. If you are going to represent yourself, you will need to set aside some time to inform yourself on the market. This can take a lot of time to canvass each building and fully negotiate alternative spaces. Doing this research and familiarizing yourself with the market will help you. However, hiring an expert is even better. And that leads me to my last reason. Number 1, renewal tenants don't hire representation and landlords do. Like you, some landlords have other jobs to do as well, besides being a landlord. And even if they don't, most landlords still hire a commercial real estate broker to be their landlord's agent. When a landlord hires their agent, they will agree to a specific commission amount. So when a tenant also has a broker to represent them as well, called a tenant representative, the landlord's agent will split the commission allocated for the transaction with the tenant rep. This means it does not cost the tenant anything to hire an agent for themselves. When a tenant has a tenant's representative to be their advocate, they not only have someone on their side to help negotiate the lease renewal and someone who knows the commercial real estate market, but just by having a tenant representative, you will make the landlord take you more seriously. The landlord and their agent will know they are going to have to negotiate with an expert, and their tactics will no longer work. They know the tenant is not just going to sign a simple lease renewal, the tenant is going to expect a market deal. The landlord will also know that by you hiring a tenant representative, you will be able to more easily compare other options out there in the market. In other words, the odds that you may vacate have become greater, and they will need to dig a little deeper to keep you as a tenant. Commercial real estate is incredibly complex, and if you aren't an insider, good information can be difficult to come by. In my practice, I'm always learning and growing, and I like to diligently serve my clients and provide them with the best tools to make the right decisions for their business's real estate. So, if you have any specific questions or comments about anything I've said, feel free to contact me directly by email or phone, or leave a comment below. If you found value or liked the video and would like more information about how to properly navigate the commercial real estate world, please check out these other videos. Again, I'm Nick Zager with Mirlo Real Estate Partners, and I can't wait to connect with you again.